Today on Dr. Phil.
When Noah throws a tantrum, I feel like a failure of a mom.
What do you do if you have a child that acts like a brat?
Whether you have one holy terror or triplets.
Get up in that bed! Hush!
Why are you yelling all the time?
I don't think I yell all the time.
We have a lot of tape.
They're saying the blessing. Bow your head.
You can brat-proof your child.
You want to know the number one thing you're doing to sabotage this child's future? I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about.
10 seconds to air.
Well, thank you. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Ready, camera 5.
3, take track.
Go, Dr. Phil. Let's do it. Very much. Well, we've all seen them, right? Sometimes they're our own, sometimes they're somebody else's, sometimes we turn and run, sometimes we stand there and shake our heads. We're talking about brats in the toy store. Does this look familiar?
Noah, stop making a scene. Everyone's looking at you. Grab the basket and walk.
Mom, please. Please.
Stop.
Well, so what do you do if you have a child that acts like a brat? Today, everyone, parent or not, is going to take a parenting quiz. Okay, now those of you in the audience here today are going to use the Paget gadgets. They're under your chair. Let's do question number 1. What do you do if your child has a case of the gimme gimmies? They're just insisting that you buy them a toy. We just saw that. Here are your choices. A, make them aware how spoiled they are. B, make them long for it so they will appreciate it when they actually get it. C, have them donate some of their toys to less fortunate children so they appreciate what they have. D, say no to some of the requests. Okay, audience, it's time to vote. Now, viewers at home, you can log on to drphil.com and take this parenting quiz along with my studio audience. And the votes will be tabulated, and you can see exactly what you are doing. Are you guys voted? All right. The answer is B. Make them long for it so they will appreciate it when they actually get it. So let's see how many of you got that correct. Okay. All right, well, Betsy Brown Braun is a child development and behavioral specialist. She is the author of the book, You're Not the Boss of Me, Brat-Proofing Your 4 to 12-Year-Old Child. This is a good book, and every one of you need to read it based on your score. Now, and she's also the author of today's quiz, Do You Know How to Brat-Proof Your Child? Now, Betsy, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Now, talk just a minute about the difference, what you consider the difference between brat-proofing your child and disciplining your child.
Children are not born brats. We enable that behavior. We certainly smooth the pathway for them to get to be brats. So the difference between disciplining your child and brat-proofing them is huge, because discipline happens when we have a brat. Brat-proofing your child is what you do so you don't need to discipline.
Well, and we need to talk about both, because there are a lot of brats in this country.
No kidding.
I mean, there are a lot of brats. All right, well, the little boy in the video you just saw is named Noah. And no, he's not an actor. He just really wanted that Mario Brothers toy. Now, his parents, Vanessa and Xavier, say they need some serious help with his bratty behavior. And they're right. Let's look at a typical day at the park, and then we'll talk.
If we go to the park and we're leaving and he doesn't want to leave, he likes to swing, and I can't pull him out of the swing. He'll hold on to the chains. This is ridiculous.
Go, come on.
Let go. Let go. Let go.
Come on, baby.
He's not letting, moving your feet up.
My tongue!
It's hard to get him out.
Ouch. Noah, stop it. All the kids are watching you. Noah, stop, please. Let's go. Come on.
He wants what he wants. And if he doesn't get it, he's gonna let everybody know.
And then you behave like this? This is why you don't come to the park.
Go. Go with mom. Go with mommy.
You're not acting nice.
Get in the car.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah, Papa, come on. Not that way. This way. This way. Go take off his shoes.
Okay. So that's your life.
Yeah.
Do you get how miserable an existence that is for him?
Yeah, it's for everyone.
Let's talk about everyone else in a minute. Let's just be selfish on his behalf for a minute. Okay. Can you imagine what it would be like, Xavier, in your day if you had that much frustration, cried that much, stamped your feet that much, had conflict that much? What would that be like for you?
Yeah, it would be pretty frustrating. I mean, I wouldn't be able to deal with it myself. I'd probably go completely nuts.
Does he look happy here?
No, not at all.
He looks frustrated, he looks lost, he looks confused. Do you get that what you're doing, however well motivated or whatever it is you think you're doing for him, this child is miserable?
But, I mean, it seems to be miserable just only when he wants those particular items. Everything else, he seems to be okay.
Which particular items? Are we talking about the park, the swing, the toy, the food, going to bed, dealing with his brother?
Yeah.
Pretty much everything.
Come on, I don't want to throw you under the bus here, but you got to help me.
Yeah, you're right.
You can't possibly mean what you just said.
No, you're absolutely right. I retract that.
It's usually me dealing with that all
Right.
day. So he gets, just a glimpse of certain things sometimes. So he thinks, for the most part, he's okay. No, he's pretty much angry all day sometimes.
You said you sometimes feel very much like a single mom.
Yeah.
And this is your mini-me?
As Dad says, he's...
What does that mean, this is her mini-me?
What does it mean?
He copies mommy. I mean, mommy's a disciplinarian in the house, so he thinks that he can run the house. He pretty much tells everybody what to do, what he wants. If he wants a snack and a drink, he's going to get a snack and a drink. We're going to get it for him because I don't want to hear that.
All my children act up. I am a yeller. I do scream. Enough. Go wash your face and stop your attitude right now. No, don't you dare try to take that off and throw it. Noah, pick that up right now. That's not nice. Control your temper. I am the boss lady, and my word is the law in my house, period. And on occasions, will turn around and mimic my behavior.
Yeah, he bosses everybody.
Stop it!
He tells everybody what to do with an attitude.
You're making me alone.
Noah is a mini mom. He does whatever she does. He puts the rules here in the house. Mommy runs the house first. But he's close second. So I always give in. I'm the guy that kind of, okay, let me sit down and talk to you for a little bit. I'll discuss what you want, and we'll try to take his mind off one thing and give him another thing.
Which I think doesn't help at all.
Yeah, how's that working for you?
It doesn't. It doesn't work out too well.
I think it makes it worse for me.
It makes it worse for her.
Because then I'm angry.
Well, you think?
Well, it definitely
Of course
does.
it makes it worse for you. So you're the bad cop and you're the good cop.
I'm the angry mommy all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad cop. I don't want to be.
And how do you express that? Are you the calm eye in the middle of the storm?
I'm not
Or are
gonna-
you in his face modeling this every second of the day? Let's escalate this. You go bigger, I'll go bigger. You go bigger, I'll go bigger. We'll all go bigger. And then Cool Breeze will come in and say, well,
Hey, it's all right.
have some juice and let's chat.
You're absolutely right. I'm the chatter. I'm the talker.
Good
No,
deal if you can
I'm
get
guilty
it.
of it. I yell.
Yeah.
I'm a yeller.
But it's work. Run. I can't say it's work, but that's how
Our
our
other
life
two
has
kids are
been
just
through
fine.
all the other kids, Yeah, and I know at some point they will grow out of this, so I kind of feel like,
Do you want to change this?
of course,
Yes.
of course.
I mean, do you want to defend it or do you want to change it?
No,
Because if you want to defend it, we can argue for a while, or if you want to change it, we can just get to the doing.
I want to change it.
All right, we're taking a break. When I come back, I'm going to ask Betsy to come up and join us. We're going to put some verbs in our sentences. We're going to give this little boy some peace, not to mention these parents. We'll be right back.
My husband hardly disciplines Noah at all.
I'm not the disciplinary here.
You're having fun?
I kind of give in to everything. I'm the sucker.
I'm the mean one.
You want me to spank him? I'm talking to you. Stop being rude.
When Noah throws a tantrum, I feel like a failure of a mom.
Stop.
I get extremely frustrated with Noah's behavior. I am at the end of the rope with Noah. At the end of the day, I'm exhausted, I'm drained, I'm tired, I'm angry. I have tried everything. Nothing's working.
Well, moms, this is a mom alert day because we are going to give you some things you need to deal with unruly children or to prevent children from becoming unruly, wherever you are on the continuum. Now, Vanessa does all of the disciplining of Noah. Xavier, not so much. He just is kind of not there, and so it's left to her. Clearly, they're not always having the same strategy. Let's take a look at this, and then we're going to talk.
And then I
I think you did.
My husband hardly disciplines Noah at all. It's extremely frustrating to me.
I'm not the disciplinary here.
You're having fun?
I kind of give in to everything. I'm the sucker.
I'm the mean one.
You want me to spank him?
Doesn't spank him.
You want me to grab him and spank? I'll spank him.
And Daddy's cool and the funny one.
Now look, let me see Happy. Over here, where's Happy? Where's Happy?
And I'm upset about it.
You know what? I had it. I'm gonna wait for you in the car.
We try not to get him angry because we don't want him to start crying.
My husband doesn't discipline. I feel like I'm a single mom.
I'm getting sick and tired of him doing this.
We're supposed to be together, but I feel no support whatsoever.
It is easier to have Vanessa discipline Noah. It's easier for me. I don't have to stress. Vanessa can get him to do things right away. You know, Vanessa has that look. When mommy has that look, everybody just, ooh, okay, we gotta get moving.
Stop.
I really wish my husband would be more involved. He is a great dad, but when it comes to discipline, it's just not there.
Okay, go have some fun at the park and you come back and get your bum pillow. Let him rest up a little bit, okay?
I feel like I have another child. It's another big kid.
Okay, if what you said was true, that would be great. If she could just look at him and he would just like fall in, be a good little soldier and march along.
Right.
But that's not true.
Correct.
And so you're saying 2 or 3 things today that aren't true. And I'm going to make a list, check it twice, because you got to dial into this. Now, Betsy Brown Braun is the author of You're Not the Boss of Me. This is a terrific book. It's a how-to book. And you need to pick it up. You need to read this. You need to keep it close by your side, and you'll know how to find things once you're in it. Now, let's talk about this. You've been watching this. Let's grade the paper here. What's going wrong here? Then we'll talk about what needs to go right.
What I see that's going on with this little boy is lost. I think that this little guy doesn't feel acknowledged. He doesn't feel, he doesn't have anybody on his team. And the first thing that's missing is somebody needs to be on his team. That piece when he was in the store and he was crying, I was waiting for you to look at him and say, gosh, I know you really want that toy. It's not fun when you don't get to have that toy. You know, nobody's with him, you know. The way that we get kids to be on board is to be on their team, so we put them in a position of wanting to do what we want them to do.
Now, what are you hearing her saying? What's all that boil down to for you?
I thought that sounded kind of passive-aggressive. I'm telling him, no, you can't have that. Making him long for it, I feel like I'm torturing him more instead of just, you'll get it on your birthday or you'll get it.
Okay, I'll let you respond in a minute, but that's what I thought you were hearing because I was kind of watching you and you were like, yeah, right, lady. Okay, here's the thing. First off, this is a tortured child. Okay, that's what I was saying to you. This is not a happy child. Okay, children should be joyful. They should be. I mean, their job is to kind of prepare themselves for the next level and be happy. I mean, that's you want a happy child, right? And everything he will ever be, he is now becoming. So what you're doing is teaching him that if he raises enough hell, he will get his way because you cave. You cave quick. But you also cave, do you not? You've said you're inconsistent.
Yeah.
Eventually. So what he does is he'll whine and you say no. So he'll whine a little louder and you say no. So he goes, okay, you want a piece of me? Yeah. Watch this. So now he just goes ballistic and you're looking around at people in the store, and you're going, oh my God, I'm that mother.
Yeah.
Do you think that in your head?
Yeah.
You're that mother, aren't you?
I become that mother that I totally would.
Yeah, you used to turn down the aisle and say, what an idiot. Right? I would snatch him up. I would but now you're her.
Yeah.
Okay? She is not saying be passive-aggressive and torture him. She's saying if this child is crying and whining about something, if you get down at his level and say, you really want that toy, don't you? And it really is frustrating that you don't have it. I know that's really upsetting to you. I'm so sorry that you feel that way. You're not getting it, but I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel. He doesn't really want the toy. That's just something he's trying to push the boundary and see if he can get it. He doesn't really want the toy. I guarantee you.
He wants the toy.
No, he wants it. He wants that till he has it. And then when he has it, he wants something else. There's no inherent value in that to him.
Right.
It's his current target. If it wasn't that, it would be something else. And once you get him that, it will be something else. He just wants to be heard.
I get it.
I'm sorry?
I get it.
Okay, I'm just helping out here.
I appreciate your help. And I want to add something else, Dr. Phil. You've got a kid who's just turned 5 years old. He is an absolutely typical 5-year-old. 5-year-olds want lots of stuff. Are you kidding? That's why the answer to the first answer in the quiz was allow your child to long for something. Children learn that they don't get everything they want when they long for it and they want it. And then maybe someday they finally get it. But this kid is acting exactly the way he's supposed to act. There's nothing wrong with it. But you living with one foot in each world. On the one hand, you say no to him really well, and you're really tough and strong with him. And on the other hand, oh, but I don't want to see him cry. I feel so bad. He should have it. Wanting is a big part of growing up. Learning that you don't always get what you want is an important part of brat-proofing your child.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have a house call where Betsy goes and pays a visit with you guys. And I'm going to tell you the #1 mistake I think you're making that can sabotage the rest of this child's life. We'll be right back.
Come on, we gotta go to school. Noah, come on, you'll be fine. We went through this already. We talked about it. I don't have time for this. I have things to do today. You're gonna be fine. I'm gonna go pick you up. Come on. Walk out the door, please. Stop. You had a friend yesterday. Walk downstairs, please. I don't want to pull you. Noah, stop.
Now, Noah only eats snack foods and goes to bed hungry. So we decided to ask Betsy if she would make a house call at dinner time with this family. Let's take a look, and then we'll talk about what happened.
No, it's very finicky. To get him to eat, it's a hassle.
Dig into your food.
Please.
Come on, start eating.
4
ready?
bites of each thing, okay?
Too much talk.
I'm not hungry.
Wow. You were asking for food in the car. Come and sit down, please.
It's now gone from you have to eat this to sit at the table.
Stop.
Sit down.
Now they're yelling.
I hate that he ignores me. Like, I find that so rude and disrespectful.
So guys,
Yes.
you have a very typical 4-year-old.
I believe so.
I would say probably 60% of all 4-year-olds are picky eaters. Do you know that you spent your entire meal talking about what he was going to eat? Noah got kind of a look on his face. And you said, he doesn't respect me. Do you see that look on his face? Respect is a very hard thing for a child to understand. He was unhappy. That's not disrespectful. He's only a 4-year-old. However, he is a smart little cookie, and he gets it. No question that when you go to tuck him in tonight, that's when you get to say to him, you know what, Noah? When I'm talking to you and you grind your teeth at me, that's not a way for a little boy to talk to a mommy. If you're mad at me, you can say, Mommy, I'm mad at you. And when you do that, I'm not going to pay any attention.
Can I talk to you? I understand that you get upset. And it's okay if you tell Mommy, I'm mad at you. But it's not okay if you grind your teeth at me. That's very mean and it's very disrespectful. Even when we're upset, you have to talk to me. Don't yell at me.
Because then I yell at you, and then we're both just yelling like silly people. That's enough. Okay, I'll stop. Too much info.
Okay, what's your reaction to that interaction that you had with him at that point?
That was nice. I did talk too much. I lost them after 5 seconds.
It seemed to me that when you were talking to him in a very calm voice and discussing this, that he was locked on you, eye contact, laser beam. You had his complete focus and interest, true?
Yes. I try that, though. Sometimes he won't listen.
Listen, you don't do this once, you don't do it twice, you don't do it 3 times, you do it until.
Okay.
You do it until you establish a pattern. Because it takes 1,000 attaboys to undo one really bad message.
And can I just add something? Since I was there at the scene of the crime, you guys have to learn to talk about this stuff when your kids aren't around. You can't chew him out in front of your child, and you can't acquiesce and be wimpy in front of him.
True.
You both need to play an active role in this. One of you can't be the boss, and one of you be the gentle guy.
And you are the boss, right? You say you want help, but you say there's one boss around here, and it's me. Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you say, well, now wait a minute. I don't boss you around. We talk. That's not what you said earlier, because I wrote it down.
Those notes.
I wrote it down right here. One boss around here, and it's me. Yeah. And then you get on television and you say, well, I don't boss you around.
Well, I don't tell him what to do, but we discuss like the rules or the boundaries.
You don't
of
tell
things.
him what to do. Did you just say that to me? Okay, you want to know the #1 thing you're doing to sabotage this child's future?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you in a minute. But first, we want to do this parenting quiz, okay? What do you do if your child lacks respect, makes faces, talks back to you? All right, without mincing words, do you tell them that they may not talk to you disrespectfully? B, do you send them to the room and tell them why? C, show them the back of your hand just like your father would have done to you. Or D, do not acknowledge their behavior or give them any attention. Now, audience, vote. Those are your choices right there. All of you at home, you can vote as well. Everybody got it? All right, the answer is D. Do not acknowledge their behavior or give them any attention. Okay, so 28% of you got that right. 38% said send them to the room. Betsy, I'll let you tell them why that doesn't work.
We do not want to give your kids 1 ounce of attention for being disrespectful. That just fuels the fire and makes it worse. Don't acknowledge, don't pay attention, walk away because your child gets the message, this isn't going to work with me.
So if he hits his brother, do I acknowledge it at that moment or just let him get away with hitting his brother?
That's not disrespectful behavior.
Well, he's rude to his brother too, though. He is respectful to his brother.
Well, by the way, of course he's rude to his brother. If he can't be rude to his brother, who can he be rude to? Siblings are rude to one another. That's what they do.
I get it, but sometimes it just gets out of hand.
For you or for the brother?
For his brother.
Well, then his brother and he have to figure out a way to deal with that. You have to help them to learn to deal with their sibling issues, but not at the point when they're involved in a discussion or a fight. If those guys are having a hard time, your job is to say, I don't know what's going on. I don't know whose fault it is, because you are totally blaming this little boy. He has all the power in your family. He's the identified bad guy.
Well, this is the brother, right? Mm-hmm. That can't protect himself from Noah. Okay. You have to understand, you have empowered this child. You have given him the expectation that he's running the show. You have given him the license to do this. You parents have done this. Okay, so you got to undo what you've done. All right, plug your ears. Let's take a look at this clip, and then I have another question for everybody. Take a look at this.
Matthew, what are you doing? Pick all of them back up right now. No, you threw them out. You're picking them up. Pick them up now. Do you understand? Did you pick them up? You're not. No, you're not.
I'm not doing it until you let me out.
I'm not letting you out until you do it. Until you're ready to pick them up, you're not coming out.
Okay, so what do you do if your child lacks responsibility? We're talking about a messy room they won't clean, don't do their homework, won't pick up their toys, whatever. All right, pick up your Paget gadgets. Those of you at home, it's on drphil.com. A, tell them what you expect, and if they don't follow through, take some of their possessions away. B, if they don't do their chores, you do them. C, let them feel the consequences of their actions. D, take away some or all of their allowance. Okay, you guys vote. All right, so did the audience get it right? I'm going to give you the answer when we come back, and then I'm going to throw a lifeline to the mother in that videotape you just saw. If you think that boy was a handful, there are 3 more where he came from. Wait till you meet the triplet brothers. Before the break, we asked, what do you do if your child lacks responsibility? Let's see what the tally was. The answer is C. So you guys did pretty well on that. Let them feel the consequences of their actions. Now, you are living in extreme chaos.
Yes, extreme.
Extreme chaos. Underline extreme. Let's take a look at that chaos in Laura's house.
Sit down and put the cushion back on the couch right now. No, it's not. Why did you get in there? Well, don't you think you should get out? Get off the kitchen table! What are you doing, throwing things? Stop it! You all need to get all this up! No, go!
Why are you crying when you chose to sleep in the other room from now on?
I want to sleep in the bed. In your bed, now. It's not in this room. What was that room?
What are y'all doing? No, you're not.
As you can see, my life is crazy.
Oh, Betsy, I don't even know where to start. Have at it.
When I listened to those tapes, I needed to cover my ears. How in the world do you expect your kids to listen to one thing you're saying when you're screaming bloody murder all the time? My gosh, I wanted to cover my ears. The other thing I wondered is, do you have a relationship, an individual relationship with any of those kids? Anybody ever get time with just Mommy and Peyton or Mommy and JJ or one of those kids?
There's really no time, I mean, because of my husband's work schedule. Even if I try to sneak off and read a book to one, you know, I've got the other 3 bombarding in.
Well, you know what? I think that there's respect missing in that family, 100%. I don't think your kids respect you, and I'm not so sure you're respecting them or modeling respect. I think those kids are crying for some individual attention, clearly.
Well, let me ask you something. Why are you yelling all the time?
I don't think I yell all the time. It's just the video that I sent was yelling.
We have a lot of tape.
I know.
That is very representative of what we have. You yell a lot. Why do you do it?
I guess I've gotten so frustrated, you know.
Why don't you put a badger in a sack and come in the room and swing it over your head? Have you thought about that?
No.
But why not? It doesn't work either.
That's why I'm here.
Seriously. No, we can do that. Just put a badger in a sack and just swing it over your head. It doesn't do one bit of good for you to yell, and does a whole lot of bad, because you know what it does? It escalates the situation. You're stressing, but that stress gets stress back, and then that stress gets more stress, and it's an auto-exacerbating syndrome here. It makes itself worse. And it's just, I mean, where's it eventually going to go? We'll be right back.
Stop it, JJ. He's been picking those up this whole time. Look at me. Did you hear me? Get up in that bed right now. Right now. Now. That's why you're not getting any. Hush. Back to your bed. Get in the bed. You will, do not spit in my floor.
Quit telling me how to drive. You're not the boss. I'm the boss.
Hush, every one of you, hush. JJ, what did you do today? Yellow card again. For every time you bring home a yellow card, you're going to bed at 8 o'clock. You have to learn this stuff. It's not an option. They're saying the blessing. Bow your heads. Hush! What are you saying? No, bow your head. I've had enough.
You know, seriously, Betsy, we don't need to fix this. We need to produce it. This would be a sitcom if the consequences wouldn't be so dire. But they are. You know, first off, where are you in all of this?
Work.
Work. And you work from when to when?
I leave my house at 2:45 every day, and I don't get off work and usually back home till usually anywhere between 2 o'clock in the morning till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
So it's a time problem for you?
A lot of it, yep.
How far do y'all live from the prison?
Which one?
Well, because you're going to be driving a lot if you don't get involved here.
Right.
You may not have time to interact with these boys at this point, and you're going to be driving to the prison and go up there and because these kids are headed for disaster if Dad doesn't get involved here. The most powerful role model in any child's life is the same-sex parent. That's you, and you are in absentee. But it's time for commando parenting. You need to get involved in this 24/7 to get these young men under control, create some order in this house, or you are going to have a major, major disaster on your hands. And you need to get, this isn't your fault. Nor is it your fault. This isn't a matter of fault, it's just a matter of responsibility. See, fault implies intent, that you would intend to create chaos or not do the right thing for your children. It's clearly that you two are very loving parents, and they are blessed to have you both as parents. But you need some help here, right? Aren't you just worn out?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be this way. This is fixable. These are not demon childs. These are just kids that have gotten out of control, and you've reacted in a way that actually escalates because your stress creates intensity, and you're raising 4 rambunctious kids virtually by yourself. Betsy, help me out here.
Each one of these kids needs to feel like he has a place and to feel significant. Children who feel significant, who have meaning, feel powerful. They don't have to be bratty to get their power. You got a house full of brats who are screaming for attention from their dad and from their mom. We got to eliminate the screaming, we want to eliminate the brattiness, and we want them to feel good about themselves. They don't have any reason to feel good. You need to give them a reason. Also, I'm wondering this. Do you live anywhere near a college or a high school?
Well, we live in a very small town, but, I mean, there's schools around.
How about a church?
Yes, I attend church.
I feel sure that there are people in your church, high school students, college kids who need child development credit, something who would be willing to come and spend an hour or 2 a week at your house as a mother's helper. Just play with 2 of them. One of them, isn't it amazing how few 3 kids is when you have 4? Right?
Yes.
And you need to recruit them before this airs. Okay? Recruit them before this airs. We want to get right on that, because they're going to think that it's like this, but it's not going to be like this. And you've got to plug in here. We've got to get some help. There are some other things that we can do to lift the load from you. You're not alone in this. We've got to help you with that. All right, we've got to take a break. I have 2 more quiz questions for you when we come back. So what do you do if your child isn't self-reliant? I mean, the kids are always complaining, I'm bored, I'm bored. Well, what do you do in that situation? Pick up your Paget gadgets, here we go. A, tell them only boring people are bored. B, help your child when they're not bored to make a list of things to do when they do feel bored. C, warn them that you will take away some of their toys so they'll know what bored is. D, make suggestions as to what they could be doing. Okay, audience, vote. And those of you at home, you can take this question on the website. Let's see how the audience voted. Okay, you're fairly close on this because, Betsy, the answer is B, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Help your child when they aren't bored because you want them to be self-reliant. If you come up with all of these ideas for them, they're not being self-reliant, they're being you-reliant, and you don't need any more of that. Okay, what do you do if your child has a problem with honesty? We're talking about telling lies, little white lies. A, take away their privileges. B, tell the story of the boy who cried wolf. C, ground them for not telling the truth. D, talk to them about why they feel the need to lie. All right, vote. All of you at home can vote. And now let's see how the audience voted. D, talk to them about why they feel the need to lie. So you guys did well on that one, right? All right. Now, some moms on my staff took this quiz, and they didn't do so well. So, Cindy and Carolyn, you guys took the test, right?
Yeah, we did.
So, Cindy, how'd you do?
Apparently, I only got one right, which was that last one. But, you know, I have a 10-and-a-half-year-old, and I think a lot of the issues that we've seen earlier in this show, I would have handled differently with a 4-year-old. But, for example, the issue of respect. A 10-and-a-half-year-old sometimes goes so far that I think you need to stop them in that moment and say, this is not okay, especially with a teenager who is testing the limits. But that's just my personal philosophy.
Let me respond to that, because I'm with you. There's no question you have to draw a line. But my point is you don't deal with it right there and give him the lecture.
I didn't do so well either, and I have to agree with Cindy that my son is also 10, and I feel like I can reason with him more. And I always think of what you say about we're raising adults and not children, and when he does something that's not appropriate, I always try to think of, well, how would something like this affect him when he's an adult?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if your child has their ears open and can listen, and you can have a rational conversation with them, then you do it. If your child is in crisis and they're screaming and they're stressed, the learning quotient has gone to practically zero. So you don't reinforce the behavior, and then when all the stress is drained away, you say, you know, I want to talk about this afternoon.
And just because your child says, I hate you, you're the meanest mommy in the whole world, well, of course they hate you, and of course you're the meanest mommy in the world. That doesn't mean they're being disrespectful.
Are you hearing what we're saying here? Because I want to be sure that we come full circle with you guys. I promise you, if you will stop yelling, because right now it's like they're on fire and you're throwing gas on it. If you stop yelling, then you stop reinforcing that behavior. You will really drop the stress level a lot. And then it really is divide and conquer. If you'll carve these kids out and you kind of make that eye contact where they don't have to act out to compete for your attention, then you can start co-opting them into having some, some nice time and some quiet time. But you have to plug into this as well. And we're going to really work on what we can do to get you some help with this. You need some manpower help. You need some kind of family dynamic help to get this turned, and then you can be able to handle it. But right now, you need some reinforcements to help get this turned. And we're going to see what we can do to help you with that, okay?
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. Well, I've got good news and bad news when it comes to the chaos in your home. The bad news is you set the tone. The good news is you set the tone. Which means you've got tremendous power. So there's going to be lots more about this on drphil.com. I want to really thank Betsy Brown Braun. This is her book, You Are Not the Boss of Me. Now, and all of you in the audience will be getting your copy of Betsy's book, so we'll have that for you. And By the way, I have read this cover to cover. It is worth reading, and it is worth keeping around. Now, I promised you guys an answer. I said I wanted to talk to you about the number one thing that you're doing that can sabotage your child's future. Our job as parents is to prepare our children to thrive, succeed, survive when we're not there, right? Because we're not always going to be there. We have to teach our children the way the world works. If you don't teach them that the world pays for performance, if you don't teach them that they have to be responsible for their behavior, their choices, and everything associated with it, you might as well say, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to give you the keys to the car, and you go on red and you stop on green. Now, have fun. What's going to happen? They're going to crash in life. Your job is to love this child, but you got to teach them how the world works. Paget Communications, thanks for letting us use the Paget gadgets for today's live audience votes. We'll see you next time. So long.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out. Bounce, 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 all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out.
You warned me 1,000 times, memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was still a storm. I've always been naive, call it.
Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Every day and night, that's right. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon' get it.